Now it's a hard topic, man. It's a tough topic because I didn't came to. Oh man, I gotta fix my thing. I got so many things, buttons I gotta press now. I had no idea. I didn't. Hold on. You ever came to yourself? Man, I don't speak the King's English. Man, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm always I got this weird thing where I start talking and whoever's in the room takes on how I talk. If I'm like the people I'm around, they dictate. It's weird. They dictate how I talk. So sometimes I might sound like I'm in the hood. Other times I might sound like I'm in the corporate meeting room. Other times I don't know what I might sound like. I might sound like I'm out on the farm with my redneck buddies. I don't know. It's a weird chameleon thing I do. Hopefully everybody's doing good this morning on a Friday. It is Friday in the colony. Good morning, my fellow colonizers. What is it? Wait, I might start calling this the colony report. I might start calling it the because I think we get confused as to who we are. We get confused as to where we live. We get confused as to who runs every damn thing. And we always run to the colony masters and we ask for a fix in the colony. We complain about the colony to the colony masters and they don't fix anything. Why would the people who have careers and make a lot of money thriving from the colony break their colony? It just doesn't make any sense. So I was looking at the funeral and I had the video. I'm kind of, I'd like to show the video if you guys haven't watched it, but I don't. It hits a special place with me, right? Um, I'm not going to show Al Sharpton speaking at the funeral because it was a funeral. Um, and as much as I have issue with how all of this is going down, I still have immense respect for the family. And so I'm not going to show the funeral clip, but I'll just talk about some of the things. If you want to watch his speech, watch it. So let me see who's in the room this morning. Oh man, it's gonna be a rough one. I don't know how I'm gonna dance around this one. You try to dance around the difficult stuff, and try to look through the cracks, see what they're not saying, see who they're having coffee with, see who they always friends with. Try to process what they're not saying. Try to process what role do they have in the colony? Because we all in the colony, some of us a little higher than others. Like I said, some of us get to pour the Kool-Aid, get to pour the lemon for master on the porch, masters of the colony. The rest of us, man, we out in the field, getting tans. All races and all religions. Don't get me preaching this morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Who we got? We got Sister Renee's up in the house. We had Ty and Carrie and Renee. Ty had me up late last night. Another good one. Another good one. Boy, I gotta get your sarcasm. I gotta somehow come up with a sarcastic, condescending, but yet loving face when you talk to people who believe this nonsense, buy into the colony. Who else we got? Good morning, Jeannie. Good morning. Welcome. Happy Friday. And Sandra, Brother Gustin, Brother Clifton is in the house. Yes, it is a good day. Rejoice and be glad in it. We're going to try to find some solutions to the colony. People complaining about the colony while they embrace the colony. They're complaining about the colonial police and not the colony. It doesn't make any sense to me. But maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm sure if I'm crazy, y'all let me know. Brother Harley is in the house. Good morning. And Buddha as well. Betty, Lynn, Lisa, and Mandy. Okay, let's talk about something. I'm talking about something now. Oh, I don't want to go there, but we're gonna have to go there. We have to go there because if we don't go there, we allow narratives. We allow people who buy into the colony and don't want anything to change because they make a lot of money on it not changing. They sell a lot of books on it not changing. They'll fly all around the world. So nothing will change. So first, let me say, number one, like I said, I mean, my heart goes out to the family, but there were some very key elements I focused on when I watched the speech at the funeral, and I watched Stephon's brother Stephante flipping out on the mayor, which touches my heart dearly. Oh, I love it. I love that brother. I do, but there's some things that we need to think about. Number one, if you actually watch the funeral, and you watch how Stephante, the funeral, Kristen, the funeral of Stephante Clark. I'm sorry. Stephante Clark was the young man who was shot, didn't have a gun, had an iPhone. He was shot because he had an iPhone in Sacramento, I believe. I didn't know anything about it till this morning, to be honest with you. I don't watch the news, and so I miss a whole lot of stuff that comes across that box. But everybody was talking about it, and I get annoyed sometimes, Kristen, when I see people who are like really stirring the Kool-Aid and they make a lot of money on the problems, but we always invite them to talk and tell us what not to do or what to do, so nothing will ever change. I feel I have to say something, and because it gets to me. And yeah, I got a picture of Al. I got Al right next to Hillary. I got them just together. Togetherness. Hold on, I'm in Hillary's mouth. Let me move. Hold on, I'm in Hillary. I can't be in there. She don't brush her teeth. Let me like that. Now, all right. Now she might brush her teeth. I don't know where them lips been. That's what I don't know. I don't be nowhere near neither one of them mouth. But I'm gonna sit on the table here and I'm gonna talk a little stuff. But it's important that we have Al, because Al gave the eulogy at the funeral. And Al Sharpton. I'm gonna be clear. I'm just gonna put it right out there. Al Sharpton hates black people. Can I say? Let me say. Can I get an amen, church? People don't know what I'm talking about. They're already like, "What the hell is he?" Al, but Al always show up. Al always got the back. Al hate white people. Al hate black people. Al hate Hispanic people. Al hate Chinese people. Al hate Hispanic people. I'm put it out there. Al is a colonial. All right. He believes in the colony, and he makes a whole lot of money on colonialism, which is why he is not. Hold on, keep going. And Hillary hates black people. Oh my God. She just want to put y'all on some eggs with some fries and fry you up, and she'll eat you with some chicken, some chitlins, and spit it out because she don't want to swallow. She hates you so much. She hate white people too. She hate black people. Hillary so bad. She hate purple people, green people, blue people, orange people, and whatever color people. Because Hillary is a colonialist, okay? She does not believe in restraining the colonial police. She writes the laws to make the colonial police chase you down so your color lives don't matter. Because don't none of y'all matter. It doesn't. They don't care how you die. They could care less. This is the truth. It's not going to be popular, but it is the truth. So, but watching the funeral, I mean, a couple things. One thing that kind of really bothered me is how Stephante's brother is taking the death of his brother. And it's very obvious that that young man has seen a lot of death in his life. It's very obvious that that young man has seen a lot of violence. Like I posted something yesterday when I was talking about, these kids, they grow up angry. And they grow up and they see things they shouldn't see, and it makes them angry. They grow up in lifestyles they shouldn't have, and they are rightfully angry to a point where their brother can be shot, and they can be protesting at their own brother's funeral. So my heart goes out to that brother. It does. But the reason these young people are angry is because the adults aren't. That's why. The reason these young people are angry is because the adults are too stupid, and they keep getting behind these colonial masters, asking for them to change the colony that the colonialists make money and sell books on. All right. So, of course, he was shot 20 times. 20 times. Let me, you know what? Let me show. I'm gonna show a little clip. I'm gonna show a little clip of the video so you can see, because you get people when these things happen immediately. The cops did it. The cops racist. And the other people, oh, it's cause the kids are bad. The young men, the police just doing their job. And then you hear Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. And I'm just like, man, y'all crazy. What's wrong with y'all? Did you get dropped on your head as babies? There's always multiple sides to a story. You got to look at the whole big picture and stop focusing on what you think before you even know a damn thing. All right, so I'm gonna show, because this is the first time I saw it. I knew absolutely nothing about this because to me, I don't follow it because it's always the same thing. It's always the same thing. We have a society that wants the kids to be violent because we have adults who are too stupid to stand up for anything that will bring any kind of a change or a solution, and they stand behind people who cause the problem, which is why the problem never gets fixed because they don't want to fix the problem. And so, all right, let me show the video. All right, we're probably gonna get in trouble today, but that's okay. Some days you gotta get in trouble. It's Get in Trouble Friday, and I'm okay to get in trouble. Please come at me. I'm put out an open request to the church. I'm gonna put out an open request. Anybody who has a problem with me, please come at me, cause I'm not from that world. I love you to death. I love you. Listen, I'll be honest. I love you to death, but you put me in the alleyway with Al Sharpton, I'm gonna beat the hell out of I come from a family, we handle things, we're very intelligent, loving people. We love you to death. We love you. But somebody once, they tried to bring that domestic violence to the family. Listen, we don't call the police. That's not how we get down. It is not what we do. And we will love you. Because sometimes my grandma, she used to beat the hell out of me and love me to death. She loved me. But sometimes you got to get beat. All right. So, all right, let me stop. All right, let's look at it first so we can see what we're talking about here.
Stephon Clark. The city of Sacramento has experienced nearly 2 weeks of unrest since the death of 23-year-old Stephon Clark. A father of 2 boys, ages 1 and 3, was killed by police in his grandmother's backyard. Earlier today, he was laid to rest.
I am.
The Reverend Al Sharpton delivering a fiery eulogy.
This boy should be alive today. It's time for us to go down and stop this madness.
Clark's family has retained renowned civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. Crump has represented the families of Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown.
We're going to have our own independent autopsy because we believe that the Clark family has entrusted us to not take the police narrative for the gospel.
The investigation into Clark's death is ongoing.
My team and I at the California Department of Justice will do everything in our power to ensure that this investigation is fair, thorough, and impartial.
In response to the outrage, the California Attorney General's office is now providing oversight of the investigation. Clark was killed on the night of March 18th by 2 officers responding to a report of a man vandalizing cars.
He's looking into another car.
Overhead, a police helicopter, infrared video tracking Clark. On the ground, shaky body cams pick up the frantic pursuit. As they close in, amid the chaos, one of the officers shouts, "Gun!"
Show me your hands, gun!
Seconds later, both officers open fire, shooting 20 times.
Show me your hands, gun! 5-7 shots fired, 7-8 down.
Leaving Stephon Clark dead, an iPhone not a weapon by his side.
All right, so to be completely clear, because I wanted to show the video, make sure people see what actually happened, because people, they jump on the sides and they try to be stupid just because they want to have a voice and be, all right. So bottom line is the kid had no weapons. Kid, yes, I called him a kid. He had no weapons. He had no iPhone. I mean, well, he had an iPhone. He had no gun. Nothing was found on him. Shot him dead. Why did the police respond? They were responding because a person was vandalizing a car. There was a report of it. Once the police got on site, one of the police said, he's got a gun. And of course they unloaded him. So those are the facts. Now, everything outside of that is speculation. Here's the reality. We live in a colony. You are a captive. You do not have a right to life. You don't have a right to your property. You don't have a right to anything. Every time this happens, which is why I really don't look at it, because it's always the same thing. We have a society that's treated like they're captives because they live in a colony, and we've got colonial police. They used to be police, and now they're slowly becoming more and more colonial police and militarized police state. And it is their job to keep the property of the colony intact. And while the people are the property, they are lower than personal property, and they will kill you if they feel that you're damaging property, or you are on the lower echelons, the social economic end of the law. And this is why I want to get to the law, and I always talk about the law, because if you don't read the law, you won't know why these things happen. You'll just look and you'll scream racism. To me, it's not racism. It never is racism, never has been. And the few times that it is racism, it doesn't matter, because it has nothing to do with the solution. It's just a talking point so people can sell books and politicians can actually not change what they screwed up. They raped the Constitution. They destroyed the Constitution. They took away human rights. If you've never read the book, The New Jim Crow, if you want to actually understand what's happening in our country and you haven't read The New Jim Crow, if you got a sign that says Black Lives Matter, or White Lives Matter, Spanish Lives Matter, you got one of them matter signs, Blue Lives Matter, and you actually haven't read the book, The New Jim Crow, you're wasting everybody's time, and you are actually part of the problem. Michelle Alexander explained to you precisely, clearly, and concisely why we have the problem we do, why our police are acting as a police state, why they're militarized, and it has nothing to do with skin color, and it never does. It has to do with the fact that you live in a colony and your life doesn't matter. Only property and profit matters. Al Sharpton is a part of the colonial legislating body, right? He has no solutions for you. He wants to get you mad. Like there was a sign during the protest. It says, no justice, no peace. And that's right. There's not going to be any justice. And there's certainly not going to be any peace. But every now and then you might have a little bit of justice, but you'll never have peace because you always go at the side effect. You always attack the police. And if you continue to attack the police and blame the colonial police, and not the people who tell the police what to do, not the people who have taken away their rights and made citizens in the colony enemies of the colony, then you won't ever change anything. And this is why this continues to happen time after time after time after time. School shootings, whether you believe they're true or not, I don't know. Some of them you believe, I don't know. I don't get into that. But it is normal now to have a school shooting. And we just need to say that. It is normal now to have poor kids shot, whether it's in the ghetto or the trailer park or wherever it is, and they're going to keep shooting the hell out of them. And they're going to shoot more of them and more and more and more because we let people get a microphone who have either no damn understanding of the problem, they've never read the book or any book that has anything to do with how a colony actually works, and they dominate what everyone does. So you get out and you protest and you get angry and you want to make they want community centers and we want to help and do this and do that. And I'm not saying any of that is bad. And I'm not saying justice is bad. I'm saying if you don't actually fix the root cause of the problem, if the people who are talking never put out any damn solutions, nothing is going to change. What's going to happen is we're going to slowly increase the problem. Al Sharpton makes his money, which is why he's with her, from there being a problem. The politicians make the money from not solving the problem. So they've legislated out your rights as a citizen. They legislated out from a socio-economic perspective your ability to survive. So the people on the lowest rungs of survival, again, whether it be poor kids in a ghetto or poor kids in a trailer park, they have no way of surviving. They can't go out and just start a business. They don't have the money for the certification. They don't have the training. They've outlawed everything, especially the war on drugs, in terms of growing medicine or providing a service to the community or being a farmer of those medicines. So big pharma companies can make a lot of money. They made sure that the prisons are for profit. Why? So you can have somewhere to take these people and put them as commissary slaves in very small prison cells to make a lot of money. And all of these people love it. They love it to death. And so the police, and this is how I view this. So please come at me if you will. I'm always ready for an intellectual discussion. The police are also victims in this. They're trying to pay a mortgage. They are trying to do a job. And guess what? They are scared to death of you. Why are they scared to death of you? Because you got guns. They're scared to death of you because they watch television like you do. They believe the narratives in the TV that poor people are violent and murderous and crazy. They believe that your kids aren't really kids, but they have less value than a dog. They buy into all of this. But the problem is a legislated one. They've legislated out people's ability to survive. And when that happens, you get angry kids. When you get angry kids, you get police. When you get police with guns going into communities with angry kids, a lot of people are going to die. And the legislators caused all of it from top to bottom. They made it illegal for you to survive in a colony because they want to make a lot of money. And if you don't actually do what that young brother did in the beginning, his brother, if you don't target the mayor, if you don't target your DNC, your Republican National Convention, you don't target your politicians, the ones who are okay with all of this. You don't target the Obamas. You don't target the Sharptons. You don't target the Trumps. You don't target, if you don't actually target the people who write all this legislation, especially the Clintons, the Al Sharptons, who are their best friends. They all play golf together. They all make a lot of money on all of these people dying. They get on these airplanes. They fly out there when this happens so they can be the first on the mic. And the first thing you're supposed to say is, get the hell out of here. These are all your buddies, Al. These are all your buddies. You're not here to help. You're here to perpetuate the problem. So I got a couple things like I always like to put out there because we can change this and we can fix this. It's not too far gone, but it doesn't start with a community center. And a portion of it is the particular police who are involved with this. They got to pay the price. But the majority and lion's share of the effort has to be taking down the colony. It has to be taking down the laws that make this happen. Right? Or guess what? Tomorrow there's going to be another shooting. Today there's going to be another shooting. Tomorrow, the next day, and next week, and it's going to continue to go on because you are the enemy. There is no Constitution. There is no Bill of Rights. It's not even a thing anymore. It's gone because you keep getting behind the colonizers and get behind the people the colonizers hire that actually sell books. So I'm going to encourage you. You need to look at the new Jim Crow. You need to read the book. Michelle Alexander is who you need to invite to the funeral. That's who you need to invite. And that's who needs to talk. Because when the 13th Amendment was written, slavery never ended. All they did is they just made it so slavery encompassed every race. Anybody who fell to the lower social economic status in the colony was okay to be the slave. Indentured servitude, that never ended either. It's all the same thing. And until we actually focus on the real problem, instead of just blaming the police consistently and constantly for doing the job that these people require that they do so they can have careers, so Wall Street can make a lot of money, nothing will ever change. Nothing. They will continue to murder the people because you're going to the people who ensure that Black lives and white lives and Hispanic lives don't matter. And you're asking them to make them matter. Logically, how does that make any sense? How does that make any sense in your mind anywhere? I know Al talks cute. I know he does. He's a great talker. He's a shyster, though. I grew up in D.C. I can tell you what a shyster is. I can tell you what a phony and a fraud is. He is a phony and a fraud, and he's a shyster. He's a race baiter. His intent is to get you emotional, to get you upset, because the only thing that you can do against an intellectual to get them to do something stupid or support something stupid is to get them emotional. And so that's why he uses race. That's why he throws racism out like it's just hotcakes. Just throws it out there. Racism, 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 racism. And it gets you mad, gets you angry. Think about slavery, but you don't understand he's holding a whip. You don't understand that he's stacking slaves on the boat. He's making money because he's on top. He's up on the deck with these folks. But all right, so they legislate the poorest people to be utilized for the hardest labor jobs. It's always been that way. And if you don't have a job, they put you in prison. That is why this kid was shot. The police and the citizens are all enemies. And so anytime they get together, bad things are going to happen. I'm just going to ask, does anybody not understand that? Because I'm going to look at the room. It's Friday. I want to have some fun. We don't get to have fun. This is why we don't have nice things, because we keep going to the people screwing up the nice things and the nice legislation that we, well, actually the Bill of Rights that we need to respect, the civil rights and human rights we need to respect, but we're going to the people who actually make sure those things are gone. And we yell and scream and argue about the side effects of what happens from empowering these psychopaths to actually run our world. I'm discombobulated and I'm confused. I'm gonna look at some questions. I look at the comments and see if someone's got an opposing view. But no, police training is not the answer. Sorry, it's not an answer. Why would you train the colonial police to respect the colonial laws better? Like, I don't understand. How is police training gonna help? The police are the enemy of the people because that's the job. The job is not to get kittens out of trees anymore. It's too late. That ship done sailed. Y'all been supporting the Democratic Party for too long. You've been supporting the Republican Party for too long. All right. Does anybody, let me just go down because I'd like to talk about some other things. We in the colony and people don't seem to understand it. When somebody dies and this dude or this chick, when they show up, that means that nothing's going to change. You're supposed to throw them the hell out the funeral. You're not supposed to let them in. Those people are the problem. They have no solutions, none whatsoever. All right, I'm gonna go back down. Straight to the doors and chambers of they deceit. Yes, it's just, brother, it's deceit. It's sexy deceit though. It's powerful deceit. And this is back to the whole passion thing, right? I get the passion of children, especially if they kill, it's your brother. I get the passion of kids if it's happening at schools or your schools. But the adults don't step in and say, well, but baby, this is the problem. These people are the problem. And until we actually get a constitution back, we respect each other's rights, we believe in self-determination, we take down all the light, because the laws, they're not for you, right? And this is the deceit. Every law, 99% of every law is about taking a citizen's rights. It's written against citizens for the benefit of corporations. It's written against citizens and it makes an industry for a business, whether it's medium-sized business or large businesses. Every law, if you never read a law, again, well, I'm gonna say it again. If you've never read a law in your life from beginning to end, your little sign, Black Lives Matter and White Lives and all blue lives, put the sign down. You don't know enough. As Ty would say, baby, you didn't do your homework. Baby, no, you didn't do your research. You don't know anything about this. Just go ahead and put the sign down. Don't go to the protest. Open the book, read the book so you actually know what the hell is going on in the nation. Otherwise, you're just as complicit as these people are in the laws they write and all the kids that are getting murdered from the laws they write. All right, I'm gonna go back. Thank you for mentioning how the individual police officers are caught in the middle of this whole sick situation. What it means to be a police has radically changed from years when the police were peacekeepers. Right, Joan, thank you. And the police are not they're not peacekeepers anymore. That's not the job. They took that job description, they tore that sucker up and they threw it out. It is not the job of the police to keep the peace. It is not their job to keep you safe. It is their job to protect property and be debt collectors for Wall Street. And the police didn't define their job. The politicians and the I don't know what the hell is he anymore? I don't know what mouthpieces. Their job is to keep all of this going. Their job is to get you to talk about the police. Their job is to get you to want to get body cameras on the police and not body cameras on the politicians. When you get body cameras on the politicians, you'll realize that it's all a scam. And so, and I don't make excuses for the police, right? You have police that are psychopaths as well, right? But the point is, they're empowered by the big psychopath. It's like, all right, it's like playing a video game, right? You know how you get to the end of the board on a video game, you fight all the little bad guys, and you get to the end, you got to fight the big boss, and that's how you beat the level. You beat the big. I have to put in video game love because we adults play video games. It's the craziest thing. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, you know, you get to the end of the game, the end of the level, and in order to beat the level, you got to take down the big boss because all the other little bosses don't really matter. You got to take down the big boss. And a lot of the police and the sheriffs, they're just little guys. They don't make their job. It's the big ones that make their job. And it's the mouthpieces like that that get you pointed in the wrong direction that keeps the job about taking the piece, right? We live in a prison. This is a colony prison. You are an inmate. You are not a citizen. But if you keep going after the police and justice, 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 where has that gotten us? As a collective, where are we? We are still in a prison. And we're not going to get out of the prison because you keep going for justice because it's the emotional fight. It's not the intellectual one of sitting down, reading the law, understanding why slavery never ended and who's included in that. You're an inmate and they're going to treat you like an inmate. Yes, Ty, thank you. Stop blaming the police. I'm not on the police. You got to have justice, but you will never have peace until you undo the laws. And one good solution, if I ever heard out of any of their mouths, one simple thing, end the war on drugs. Probably the single most powerful law to stop these young kids being murdered all in the street and to get police to no longer be scared of citizens. All you got to do is end the war on drugs and it's all over. And then people say, oh, but we can't. Then people will have addicts and drug addicts and then. Would you rather have drug addicts or would you have tons of funerals all over this country? What do you prefer? The reason that police are in these neighborhoods making war on these poor people, shooting them like they're dogs, like they're, unfortunately, like what the same legislators do for the military in Iraq, Afghanistan, and all the other wars we're in, they're shooting them like they're dogs because they are dogs to the legislators. They're just dogs and they don't care. And the people who write the books, they don't care either. All right. Nullify the whole damn system. It's not constitutional. Thank you, Crystal. And that's what we have to do. Like, you want a solution? Step one, if you don't like all of these people being murdered, stop supporting the system. Stop supporting the colony. Get behind the things that are nullification. Get behind anything that supports states' rights. Get behind anything. Get active locally. Stop letting people say, oh, it's the police, fix the police. Because you don't go to violent people to stop the violence. That's not going to happen. It's just they're going to make more violence because you're too stupid. You're too emotional. You're too emotional. Do your homework. Do your homework. Shiristan said, I want indictments. I do too, Shiristan. But you know what? I want indictments at the big boss level. Tired of little indictments. I'm tired of these indictments. I don't care about them anymore. I want to know who writes these laws and who keeps them up. You have enough congressmen and senators now who will say that the war on drugs is a scam. You have enough of them, and I'm just targeting that one because that's the big one. There are probably thousands of laws that need to be deleted. That's not probably, it is true, that are all unconstitutional and they all need to go. But because, you know, it's like these kids, they're angry because they don't have jobs. Let me play something for you. This was from a movie, it said everything, and it was a comedy, said everything, but people that really didn't get from it. Now, let me see if I can play this. My man Smokey. I don't know if y'all gonna hear this.
I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. I'm gonna get you high today. Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Did you hear that? I'm gonna play it one more time. It explains why this happens. It's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got nothing to do. It's from my movie Friday. Y'all need to watch Friday. Good documentary. Kind of explains what's going on, right? So if you don't have jobs, if these kids can't go cut hair because they need a license, they don't have the money to go to school and get a trade. They don't have, their parents work 3-4 jobs, not home raising them. The problem gets down to the fact that they don't have jobs. They don't have nothing else to do. So what do you think they're going to do? They're going to be kids, and kids do what kids do. They've outlawed the ability for kids to be kids. Like, one thing I appreciate too, though, is his brother Stephon. He said the rent's too damn high. That's my brother. I love it. I forgot the dude's name. Rent's too damn high party. And Stephon mentioned that. And he's right. The rent is too damn high. But the problem ain't the rent. It's the people who legislated so that the rent did go up. The problem is poverty, and the laws outlaw poverty in this country. They outlaw survival. They come for your rent the same way they come for your guns. It's the same people. I know everything keeps coming back. We keep hitting this gun control thing, but it's the same people. They don't want you to have that in the colony. Let me see what else y'all saying. We need to cushion our neighborhood before we invite the police or big government. You know what, Lisa, I'm with you. I think we need to cushion our neighborhoods. I think that we don't need as many police as we have. If we get rid of the laws, we need to give the police something else to go do. You know, the lethal weapons that police have, there's no excuse or reason for them to still be there. The only reason they're still there is because they want them to murder you. That's why the police still have these lethal weapons. 20 years ago, they could have switched them over to non-lethal. So it's a very simple solution, but they don't want to do it and not going to do it because they need the problem. They need these kids being murdered because it's how they make money, and it's how they keep getting the lobbyist checks from Wall Street and mid-sized businesses to make sure that they keep making more rights illegal. It's just how it works. It's an ugly thing, but we don't seem to get it, so they're going to keep doing it. The Barrio murders don't even get mentioned in San Antonio, just business as usual at the public housing. Yes, Jeannie, they don't mention it. They don't want to mention it. They don't care. It's not significant. But you know what? But if you try to poison a spy and you don't kill him, oh my God, I can't even turn on the television. It's like, it's constantly the spy. He almost died. He almost died. He almost died. That's news. They don't talk about any poor people dying. But oh my goodness, you go ahead and take down one of the high level colonial spies you make an attempt to, they'll talk about that for years. They'll write legislation. They're pulling ambassadors. They're spending tons of money to make sure that people are paying attention to that. But they won't pay attention to the fact that they're murdering the people who live in the colonies, the poor people. Reverend Shyster. Yes, Elaine, that's who he is. Yeah, that's it. He is a shyster. He is a scammer. He needs to be in a prison somewhere. He is a monster. And the idea that any adult anywhere near this funeral that gave a damn about this young man and his kids should have threw Al Sharpton out on his butt. Because that's what you do when you really love somebody, is you take these kids' passion and you send them the right way and you show them the right thing. These people are the enemy. So I'm trying to see if I got any Sharpton fans in the crowd. I want to see something. I know, because you know what they like to tell me? Oh, well, Sharpton, he's bringing attention to the matters. Oh, is he? Is he? He's not bringing attention to the matters. He's bringing attention to himself. That's why he is a speaker and he is a book author. Sharpton is on the payroll. I think he is, Sandra. I know there was that little quiet thing they were talking about not too long ago that he owes like $2 million in back taxes or something like that. If you owe the colony money and you're already a criminal to the colony, you're going to do exactly what the colony tells you to do. And maybe that's why he goes along with this. We need community centers and we need libraries. We don't need to change the laws. That's not the problem. We need justice, you know, but keep it going. The great debate is it too late to rely on our political system? Lisa, I don't think so, Lisa. I don't think so. I don't think that we've gone beyond it yet. The problem when we say we've gone beyond it, that means it's a violent revolution. And when it's a violent revolution as a solution, we don't want that. Nobody wants that. That's not in the homeland. You don't want a revolution anywhere near you. And besides, the fact is, when you resort to violence, you're as bad as they are. Right? Because at the end of the day, what is a legislator? It's someone who writes a law for the sake of Wall Street, who comes about a violent solution against you. And I'm not ready to be them. I don't think we're at a place where we need to be them and we need to be violent like they are. You need a stepping away, I think, Lisa. Like, I think our last options here is we need a stepping away from the political system. None of this is politics. This is why none of my friends, not that I know of for the most part, who even speak and do these live streams, no one's talking politics. I know sometimes y'all get confused and you're like, oh, it's political talk. I don't want to hear politics. It's not politics. This is human rights. This is human life. This is fixing our world, right? And unfortunately, we're still operating in a political system, but it's about pulling your support from it. Like, I'm not sure it's even voting. I don't know that it's voting, but instead of having a march at the police station, it begins with having a march at the politician's house, right? Back when we used to protest, we had brothers used to go sit on top of the judge's house for the thing that the judges did. You know, these things make news, they make the news, but you want to start to make viral the solution, not constantly justice, go after the police, because at the end of the day, the police still are us. You know, they might be a little loopy side of us, but there are a lot of good police officers. And that's how I really know the problem. And a lot of officers don't support any of this. Is because they're doing a job, they're paying a mortgage. And people say, well, you shouldn't do the job. You shouldn't, well, you know what? What does your job do? Is your job in support of the colony? If your job is in support of the colony, then you really don't have a whole lot to say to police. If your job is working for a chemical company, a pharmaceutical company, if it's working for one of the companies that make the ball bearings and the mechanics and the wheels and the sprockets, or the software, the engineer for any of these corporations that are actually buying the entire damn world, then you're complicit too. You may not have pulled the trigger, but damn it, you sure are helping them. You know, so it's our society that's sick and needs to change. So I'm not sure that, you know, that we're there, but we still want to try to operate somehow in the political system to completely change the political system from the bottom up. We need a whole lot of nullification to happen. You need to get behind the things that Brother Chris and Jessica and Darnell talk about, United States Corporation of America. Or United States Corporate. We need to look at these things and we need to hit all of them. Anything that brings down the system. Oh my goodness, did you just see that? I'm sorry, I just got confused. That was an ant. Did y'all? I had to back the video up. The damn ant just crawled over my camera. That was crazy. I was about to run. Some of y'all, I don't know if y'all saw. I was like, what the hell? All right, never mind. All right, body cameras on politicians. Yes, and see, simple things like that. If people go march and they got signs that say body cameras on politicians, the news media doesn't have a choice but to show up. They're going to be like, what the hell is this? You got 300 people outside of Hillary Clinton's house with a camera that says body cameras on politicians. Then you have a talking platform. Then you have the ability to say, because we don't know what they're doing. They're the ones writing the laws that are putting the police in the neighborhoods with guns fighting citizens. We don't want this to happen anymore. So every law that sends somebody with a weapon, a lethal weapon, into a neighborhood where children live, all those laws got to go away. All of them. Why? Vandalism. Why? Explain to me this. How do you go from vandalism to somebody being murdered? How? Explain that to me. How do you justify a parking ticket, turning into somebody being murdered? How do you explain somebody selling cigarettes and not having a license to sell them being murdered in DVDs? Makes no logical sense. It's because the officer has to go and respond because that is his job. And if he gets scared, he's going to do something stupid the same way you would. So if you take down the laws that make it legal for police officers to go and support, which is at the end of the day, it's a Wall Street law, right? Because if I can limit how many people have licenses, I make more money. And as a politician, if I can charge for those licenses, I make money too. All of these things are just money schemes. They're all just like Brother Allen, Trish and Bish like to say. It's just a looting operation. That's all it is. America is just one massive looting operation. And you got people who are being looted from cheering those who are doing the looting. Where are we going? I'm upset. I can't sit behind these two morons. Hold on. I want to go to, I thought I had something else. No, I don't do that. Oh, there we go. Let's jump over here because we're in a colony. This is why I'm always talking colonizers. I'm telling you, whoever put the movie out, Black Panther, they put you onto something. They're reminding us that we're still in the colony, and these are colonizers. And you have multiple layers of people who are in support of it, making a whole lot of money, and we keep going to those people for help. And then they keep smacking the hell out of us. Again, we can't figure out why are you smacking me? Why are you smacking me? Why are you smacking me? And just keep all right. Heck, the CIA and the FBI are the drug dealers, Lisa, and that's another good solution, another good approach, right? Because we know the CIA did this. We know that the reason drugs are actually in the country, the reason they became a problem, is because the CIA set up the drug routes. They're getting caught all over the world doing this. So everybody who dies by all these guns that are on the street, by the fear the police have, where they want to shoot everybody anytime they grab some M&Ms or something, it's all about those laws. It's all about the fact that those laws got written because the CIA created the drug routes, which what does it mean? And they are citizens. They are complicit in murder. They actually set up these routes. They did this. They are the reason all of these kids are dead. They're in the police officers that get killed in this line of duty, they're also the reason they die. So maybe it makes sense that people go protest. And does the CIA have a house? Do they got houses? They live underground. They live in caves. I don't know where they live. Wherever the CIA live, that's where you should be protesting. Why? Because they did this. There isn't anybody in prison who was there for a drug charge that the CIA isn't complicit in them being there because they set up the drug routes. But that's a solution. It's not emotional. It's just a solution. And it's talking about the truth and how this happened. Your government actually created the problem with drugs so you can war on drugs. Oh man, I was in a good discussion yesterday. I'm always talking to people. That's why you gotta talk to people. That's how you learn stuff. Oh man, it was gut wrenching. Family that lost their son to heroin, right? This whole opiate crisis. And it's the same thing, right? Why are we in Afghanistan? Because opiate production dropped. Why did opiate production drop? Because there was a group called the Taliban, and they decided, we don't want y'all growing opium anymore. We're going to shut this down. And they started shutting down farms all over Afghanistan. And this is how magically the war to get Saddam, 9/11, whatever, it went from Iraq over to Afghanistan because the Taliban was like, listen, we don't want y'all growing opiate anymore. You start shutting down the opiate production, that means you can't get your heroin in America. So we went over there, we made sure that they could grow their heroin. And so now what Afghanistan provides back to providing 80 to 90% of the world's heroin. So the reason heroin is actually in your country and the reason people are dying is because the CIA did this. Once again, going to the people who caused the problem, asking them for a solution. See what y'all are talking about. Divide and conquer, police are the enemy, setting up police versus citizens, another way to divide people. Yes, Joan, spot on. I can't say anything about that. It is divide and conquer. The police are us. And when bad times come, you're going to want to have that police in your neighborhood. You're going to want to make sure you guys are friends. We need to go back to the police. Actually, I think if you end the war on drugs, outside of people whining and crying who don't understand that drugs are actually the natural ones. We've been taking these things for 5,000 years, and the only reason they outlaw them is because they're painkillers. And if they can outlaw the painkiller, they can get you to take all the other medications that Big Pharma makes a lot of money on. That's why they go for the drugs like kratom and cannabis and cocaine and the things that heal pain. Because, if you actually can tolerate the pain of your body healing itself, which most things that you get, whether it's prostate cancer or lung cancer, whatever it is, your body will actually heal that if your immune system can focus on it, if your white blood cells can actually focus on it. We would never be this far if our body couldn't treat these things. But what they do is they understand me like anybody else. I made a video not too long ago. I was in pain. That sciatica came from my butt, quite literally. I don't know who put a sciatica in your butt, but anyway, it came from your butt. But I dealt with the pain. I said, you know what? I'm going to fight through this, see if my body can heal it, drank my water, did my stretches. I said, I'm going to deal with the pain. I'm going to deal with the pain in my butt. And I dealt with it. I said, I'm going to give about 24 hours. I guess about 48. It was something like that. But after a while, you need your sleep. After a while, that pain will get to you. It'll do something to you psychologically. And if you don't have a painkiller naturally that won't affect your immune system so it can continue to fix the problem, whatever that may be, or so that muscle can repair itself, you're going to go for the doctor's treatment. You're going to go for the pharmaceutical drugs. And they know that. That's why the war on drugs exists. Now, it started because of a paper company in hemp, but the reason it's still here today is because they make a lot of money on selling you all of these drugs to treat things that your body can heal itself naturally over time if you had a natural painkiller to deal with the pain while it was happening. That's why when they find all these cavemen, they find them with cocaine. They find them with cannabis. Because they used to get hurt a lot. Remember we talked about the, what was her name? Ice Princess, sister they found in China, where, you know, she fell off the horse and she had all this cocaine with her. Because your body will heal all of these problems. It's the pain that you got to deal with. It's the pain that's going to keep you away from the synthetic drugs and all the crap that they have. Sorry, in the war on drugs. And I think you do that alone, police will go back to walking beats in the neighborhood, getting kittens out of trees, making sure kids don't get hit by cars getting on the bus. But we don't have solutions because in the colony, the only way the colony works is to get people fighting each other. If you can get people fighting each other, you can divide them up. In the colony, you make a lot of money for the queen. A lot of money. You know, I was fun. Let me show you something real quick. A lot of money. Everything comes down to the colony. I was out of the world. I haven't been out in the world. I was out of the country. I had to go down in Belize. And guess who won the Belizean dollar? Guess who that is? Guess who that is? They don't even hide it. Certain countries, they don't even hide it. It's all, that's the queen. And that's she, oh shit. But you know, that's not the modern queen. That's back when she was pretty. She'd go up flapping, you know, she had perky. Ain't the queen now. But as flappy and messy as she is, she's still running the world. And if she ain't running the world, it's the people who run her that are running the world. That's our problem. Like police in the UK. Kevin, and that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So if you look at the police in the UK, right? You look what they call them, bobbies, and they took the guns away from them, and it was really interesting. Oh man, it was a great. I forgot it was a show on TV. I forgot the name. I think it was called Luther, something like that. But anyway, it was the brother from I forgot what movie he was on from too. But it was about the police in the UK. And I got friends in the UK. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong or not. But it was interesting to see how when you take the guns from the police, you take the lethal weapons from the police, they go back to being intellectuals. They go back to trying to be problem solvers, right? Because the police shows up and they're like, you know what? I got these rubber bullets, man. And I got to be a professional. I need to follow my training because that person might have a real gun. It's going to take a couple rubber bullets to put him on his butt, and then I got to run up and tackle him. I don't want to do that. So then what do police do at that point? You force them to negotiate. You force them to ask questions. You take them back from a place of being thugs, yelling and screaming and barging down doors, and people who actually knock on them. Hello! That's how I go. They come to your door. And they duck real quick just in case you might shoot.
Hello, it's the police. I'm here. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm here. I just want to talk to you. Can I, is it okay? Can I come out?
But it was a good show. It kind of explained that, you know, so it's survival, right? The job about being a police, we can either keep it being a thug with very powerful weapons, militarized, or we make it being the position of a negotiator.
Like, listen, hey guys, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I just kind of want to talk to you. I hear you fighting in there, and I don't want to fight. I want to try to help you. What can we do? What happened? Why do you feel so bad? Are you upset? Come in.
And the next thing you know, the police is hugging you, and y'all crying on the shoulder and stuff, and you're actually solving problems then. But we got to get back to making the police a profession, right? They don't have to be dragoons. The only reason they're dragoons is because the legislators make them. All right. Unrest equals profit. Yes, Lisa, amen. Good morning, brother Al. Oh, your comment just flew up. I just missed it. Good morning. Yes, Sharpen likes attention. He loves attention. Let me move down. I'm way up in comments. Maria says, I love your brain. Thank you, Maria. I don't love my brain. I don't love it. I don't love it. It only works on coffee, Maria. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna fool it. After this cup of coffee is gone, I'm back to, you know, trying to. But I think we don't think about the root cause. And for me, I want to solve problems, right? I don't make any money doing this. I don't want to make any money doing it. Well, that's not true. I'd love to make some money doing it, but no. But see, the problem is when you make money talking about things, you're scared to talk about the people who are funding you. And the only way you get to be honest is you can't be beholden to any of that stuff. But for me, it's about the kids. I don't give a damn about Al Sharpton. Don't give a damn about Hillary Clinton. I honestly don't give too much of a damn about any adults. I love them. Don't give a damn about them. I care about the kids, and the kids are angry. And we need to listen to that anger. That anger in the trailer park, it tends to become white nationalist. That anger in the ghetto tends to become someone who's running from or fighting with the police. It become gang members. The kids aren't the problem. So I don't blame kids for nothing. I don't blame them for anything. They should be angry. They should be flipping out. Why in the hell should you grow up in a trailer park with no food and no shoes? Why should you grow up in a ghetto with barely any underwear to wear and no water to drink? Clean water to drink. They should be angry. They should be out there trying to sell drugs. That don't put me in a place where I'm saying they should be trying to sell drugs, but they should be trying to survive. It is a human right to survive. It is a human thing to not just lay down and die, but to try to fight through the current climate or whatever's going on. And these kids are doing that while the adults are just cheering everything the colonizers are doing. The sellouts. That's what I call sellouts. All right. Go down to the Sharpton FBI informant to set up Astish Accord. Thank you, brother Mark. I have to look into that. I don't know anything about it, but doesn't surprise me in the least. Al Sharpton is not a friend of any community but the elites. Let me see. The power of boycott has been forgotten. Yes, Shuristan, we need to boycott the whole damn thing. Boycott all of them, shut them all down, let them collapse, stop cheering them, call them foul, call them charlatans, call them sellouts. We got to go back to being smart and standing up for these kids. Otherwise, they're just going to keep getting murdered. You know, which to a degree is standing up for the police too. Is not the bad ones, but the good ones who actually want to get the kittens out of the tree, and they want to be the heroes, and they want to talk people down off of the cliff from jumping off the roof, and they want to just stop the husband from beating the wife or the wife beating the husband, and they want to get in the way of domestic violence. They want to be heroes in the community, but we don't have those people who want to be heroes going to be police anymore because it's not the job. It's not the job. Not anymore, it isn't. Breaking the duopoly and creating multi-party system is part of the integral change. Starve the DNC and RNC. Yes, and I'm with you. They both need to go away. They do. I'm not a change the system from the inside. I'm not. Both parties are too locked into this whole colonizing, screwing the people thing that there's no good in any of it. Like, you know, we got to a place with Obama where they're like, oh, he means well. No, he doesn't. Not in his actions. And the good thing is a lot of people who voted for Trump are starting to see it too, especially the farmers, right? They're like, well, Pence is from a farming state. He's going to help us. And now the farmers are flipping out because he turned on them, right? He's a big chemical farmer person, and the organic, the real farmers, the original farmers, they have nowhere to go because now that it's all about Bayer Monsanto, chemical payoffs and lobbies. It's just they're big in the colony. They got a lot of control in the colony. So none of these parties are for you. They are all against you. They hate you. You are in the way of profit, which means that you have to die. You have to go out of business. All right. We've been marching since the 60s. We still haven't overcame anything. No, Mark, we haven't. We haven't, because let me go back to the picture. As much as disgusting as it is, oh, that's the wrong one. That's the Kraken. That's Russia. That's a whole nother discussion. You know, they calling Russia the Kraken now. They're saying Russia. They said, what did the lady, she said Russia has tentacles all over the earth. Like tentacles all over the earth. You know where American bases are? Come on, stop it. All right, but that was the other day. I'll talk about that another day. But, you know, it's because we keep, now we know why we shall overcome. Did we know overcome a damn thing? It wasn't no overcoming. They was coming under, or they was coming in. I don't know. I don't even want to go there, but they were screwing us the whole time. The whole time, which is why we have to take a step back. And it's why I believe, Mark, that solutions, they go from the people up. The people need to go and talk to each other and process this. Like I said, go talk to the police. Find out what's going on in your neighborhood. Get to know them. When you know the police and the police know you, these bad things don't happen. But when you don't know your police, they can be scared of you. That's why I wave to my police every day. They need to know me. Hey, y'all need to know me. I need to know you too. But we got to get serious about solving the problem. We do. We got to get serious about solving it. But the thing that hurt me the most is when you watch that funeral and you see his brother jumping around and, just, I guess he's kind of smiling because he's getting the support. But when you see a young man like that take on the death of his brother, like now I'm sure he's broken up and I'm sure there's something psychological going on there. But that was the real indicator of how sick this whole society has become, taking rights from all the people, because now you got kids who display what seem to be almost no emotion because they're so used to this crap. It's time for adults to step up and actually get behind these kids and get behind the police and fix the problem. All right, let me go down. The other thing I'll say is it's like the puppet master. It's like, if we know that these people are puppets, why are we sitting around waiting for the puppets to fight the puppet masters? Like, think about that for a minute. Put that picture in your head. You got puppets hanging on a string like this. And Wall Street just pulling the strings and they're doing their thing. And you got adults, grown adults, who know that they're puppets. Nobody debates this anymore. Everybody's pretty much on the same page. And they're all debating for this puppet to start just somehow fight the puppet. And the puppet master just pulling the strings. And Al Sharpton fighting, he gonna fight the puppet master. Oh, Hillary Clinton gonna fight the puppet master. And maybe she just dancing. Oh, Trump about to fight the puppet masters. Oh, look, Obama gonna fight the puppet masters. They just dancing on stage. We all in the stage. We're in the audience. Oh, look, he's ready. He's about to fight him. Look, he's fighting him. He's fighting him. Meanwhile, the string's just getting pulled. And we don't, we know that they're puppets, but grown adults are still trying to get you to believe in Santa Claus. They're still trying to get you to believe in the Easter Bunny. They're still trying to get you to believe in the Pied Piper. They're still trying to get you to believe in all of these things that a grown adult. See my face ain't that ugly? Should know better. All right, let me the last couple comments. I'm gonna drop off of here. Let me see. Can't share it here though. No option. Important memes. Okay, I'm not sure we're talking about there. War on terror is all BS. War on terror is all BS. There is no war on terror. It's just colonialism. People fighting against the colony, because in other countries they know they're fighting with violence. They're fighting the colony. And they call them terrorists. They're not terrorists. They're just fighting against they're being colonized. U.S. taxpayers subsidize pot farms. Oh yeah, pot farmers in Afghanistan, and they lose a crop. Yet we finance it, and that's why it's going on. The drug trade is completely CIA run, controlled, set up, and everything that comes about it is their fault, and we pay for it, and we cheer the people doing it. It's sick. Let me see. Prison systems have become legal slave trade systems. Yes, Lisa, they are. And that's what the 13th Amendment did. The 13th Amendment never ended slavery. Everybody was cheering, Well, not everybody, because we weren't there. We weren't alive. But they was like, yeah, slavery ended. And that's not what happened. They just said, nope, we're not going to do slavery based on skin color anymore. We're going to do slavery based on economics. Who was ever at the bottom? Of course, the majority of slaves were still at the bottom, so they just walked them right back on the plantation. And now we're coming into the future far enough where we're realizing that they're walking the rest on the plantation too. So anyway, that's it. I got to get off of here. It was a good discussion. I appreciate y'all joining. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Love y'all to death. And just when people start saying dumb stuff, you got to really start pulling them in. Embrace their passions, guide the kids in the right direction. But we have to really stop supporting the police, them making the police debt collectors, because that's all that, I think Mary just said it. They're debt collectors for Wall Street. That's all they are. Go after the people making them debt collectors that end up in them murdering people, as opposed to going after the actual collector. Don't be the dog that attacks the newspaper. Be the dog that attacks the mailman, right? Be the dog that attacks. Once you realize the mailman came from the UPS, be the dog that goes after the UPS. When you realize the UPS came about from some federal law, federal government, be the dog that attacks them. But don't be the dumb dog that constantly goes after the newspaper, because the newspaper didn't do it. The messenger ain't going to get you anywhere. Go after the people who make the money from causing the problems. Politicians need body cameras. Y'all have a good weekend. Love y'all today. Bye-bye.